I'm Connor, I'm a physical therapist, and today we're going to go over all the hip precautions you could be getting after your hip replacement surgery. And if you know your specific type of surgery, you can go ahead and check the video chapters down below. They're labeled in terms of anterior, posterior, trochanteric, or weight-bearing precautions, and go ahead and skip ahead. If you don't, then you can just kind of watch the whole video and find out what you need to know. First up is posterior precautions after a posterior hip replacement. This is where they go in through the back or more towards the side. They're going to be cutting through a little bit more muscle during this surgery compared to the anterior or front approach. So you typically have a bit more restrictive precautions with this one. There are things you're not allowed to do, including bending your hip more than 90 degrees, as shown here. This typically happens when you're going to put on your shoes and you're sitting down. Other precautions include no internal rotation or turning your leg in. This also usually happens when you're either getting into or out of the car, or the other possibility is when you're turning when you're walking. So it's highly recommended that you do smaller quarter turns in the early stages after the surgery to avoid twisting your leg too much. And then the last precaution for this one that is most typical is not crossing your legs, which would probably happen if you're sleeping, which is why we recommend putting a pillow between your knees so that you can avoid this issue. Next up is precautions for the anterior hip replacement, or where they go in through the front. Now there's typically less precautions for this surgery because they have to go through less muscle to perform it. So your doctor might just give you no precautions at all for after surgery, but if he does, or if they do, it's typically avoiding excessive hip extension where you're kicking your leg too far behind you, or turning your leg out, which is called external rotation. This would typically happen if you left your foot pointed out when you were sleeping, or if you're standing, say you had your right hip replaced and you turn towards your left while keeping your right foot planted, that could cause that. The only other thing that typically happens with that is if you try to put your shoes on and bring your foot up to your other knee, that is also external rotation and not advised, especially immediately after this surgery if you were given precautions. Next, we have trochanteric precautions. Now, this is less common. It's typically more in hip replacement revisions, or if there was a complication during your surgery that your doctor found, it's them telling you that they don't want you to kick your leg out to the side or do what's called hip abduction. So this, again, is more for hip fractures during the surgery. If there was a problem with the tissue that they found during the surgery that they don't want you kicking your leg out to the side. Typically, after a normal hip replacement, they really want you working that movement to get it stronger again. But if your doctor found a reason, listen to that reason that they don't want you kicking your leg out to the side for the time being and wait for whatever the complication was to heal. Now let's get into weight-bearing precautions. Now, these aren't given out to every hip replacement, but they can be given out to any hip replacement, whether it's anterior, posterior, revision, doesn't matter. So here's what these kind of words mean. You might see it abbreviated as full weight bearing, or WFB, WBAT, which is weight bearing is tolerated. If you see those, you're good to go. As long as you feel okay holding weight on your leg, you do not have to worry about how much weight you put on it. If you're given precautions where it's 50% weight bearing or partial weight bearing, that typically means they're giving you an assistive device, which could be a walker, crutches. Typically, if you're having partial weight bearing, then they are not giving you a cane because they want you to give you more support, where you need to be walking with those devices and gingerly putting weight on your leg, again, about 50% as you walk. The next up would be toe touch weight bearing, where they really do not want you putting much weight on that leg at all. Imagine if there was a leaf under your foot that you don't want to crush that leaf in the fall, so you're really putting light pressure on that leg. This can kind of make it tough to get around at times, but it is important because just like the trochanteric precautions, there may have been a complication during your surgery that led the doctor to believe that you need to be careful and not put too much weight so you don't mess anything up, and give it some time to heal and let everything solidify to get back to normal. Now, the time frame and how long you need to follow these precautions varies a lot by every surgeon. Any surgeon can be different. So what I recommend is listen to what your surgeon says first in terms of how long they want you to maintain these precautions, and then just do that, knowing that it's giving you the best opportunity to let it heal during that time, and that'll be the safest option. Then again, after that, most of these precautions only last for about 6 weeks, sometimes even less for the anterior replacements. The posterior replacements are more typically 6 weeks, up to 3 months. Usually that would involve some kind of complication with the surgery that they want to be extra cautious and not have you moving too much. The trochanteric precautions, if your surgery came with those where you can't kick your leg out to the side, that's again probably indications of a complication during surgery that may warrant a longer time frame for you not to be doing those movements. Weight bearing precautions, same thing, about 6 weeks typically. As long as those complications heal up, then you can start going back to full weight bearing, and weight bearing is tolerated based on your doctor's advice. As you go back to your doctor's appointments and they take x-rays, making sure there's no fractures, those are the kind of things that they will be looking for to make sure that you're safe for weight bearing. Now I know all of this can be kind of scary, but hip dislocations, especially nowadays after hip replacement surgeries, are very, very uncommon. They're very low percentage. So I want you to do the best you can to follow these precautions, but move with confidence, knowing that it is very unlikely, and as long as you are being proactive and being safe, that you should not have a problem and should be getting back to regular daily life without having to think about how you're moving in no time.